Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to my instant match reaction to Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. Well, that's not a result I thought I was going to be reading out at the start of this. I had us down for a bit of a drubbing at the hands of a usually very workmanlike team. I mean, Sheffield United, granted, weren't at the best here, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised by Everton. And for once, I was very, very pleasantly surprised by Everton playing in a 4-2-3-1 formation, which is a formation that I've absolutely lambasted to the hills, particularly during the Marco Silva era, of course. But we reverted to that today, and it was a bit of a surprise, but it really seemed to bring the best out of some of our more gifted players. Andre Gomez and Gylfi Sigurdsson had their best games in a year at least, I think, probably since Silva's decent spell at the end of last season. Two very good displays there. Tom Davies was a little bit ropey again, unfortunately, but generally he was a far better midfield display than we've seen in a long time. Richarlison moved out to the left and he scored the winning goal eventually from a free kick, a Gylfi Sigurdsson free kick. Great delivery and a brilliant header from Richarlison. Calvert-Lewin still seems a bit out of sorts. He's lacking in confidence and he was snapping at shots still, and he didn't play particularly well. I thought Walcott was decent on the right, but generally it was quite a strong performance. Michael Keane and Jarrod Branthwaite were pretty solid at the back. Luca Dean was great. And yeah, it was a very, very pleasant surprise. I mean, I think we were all hoping Anthony Gordon would skin that player and stick one top bins. I think that would have been a brilliant end into the game. But nonetheless, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised by this. Easily our best away performance of the season. And it took us to the very last game to pull it off, but better late than never, I guess. And it might just spare us the ignominy of our worst league finish since we finished 17th. So if we can try and finish 11th, I mean, that sounds absolutely embarrassing, doesn't it? But it'd be a damn sight better than finishing any lower, I suppose. Just after seeing that, maybe there actually is hope for next season and we can do something. But what really impressed me is that obviously I've been a big detractor of 4-2-3-1 in the past, but I think the fact that we sometimes alternate now between that and maybe a 4-4-2 is a very good string to have to our bow, and it's testament to Carlo Ancelotti, that I think, because he's certainly the most flexible and pragmatic manager that we've had for a long time, probably certainly since David Moyes. But that's exactly what we've been missing. I think we need to have a manager who's not afraid to shake things up when it looks as though we have been sussed out. Maybe the 4-4-2 that we've been using has been sussed out by opposition teams, just as Marco Silva's 4-2-3-1 was, and we were struggling. So sometimes it is good to freshen things up, and maybe it'll put to rest. Maybe it'll shut me up a little bit when I'm bashing 4-2-3-1 from now on. But it was a really pleasing performance, and yeah, it was I can't believe I'm actually enjoy the half of football from Everton. It's been a long, long time, and you know it's come a bit late in the season. Obviously, we've only got one more game to go, but it's nice to watch an Everton game and not be completely tortured. Jarrod Branthwaite, I'm going to touch on him because he's a very, very promising player by the looks of it. He's put in two very strong performances at the back now, very assured. And, you know, that could be interesting, especially if we miss out on this Gabriel, who we've, of course, been linked with quite heavily. If we miss out on him, we might not miss it quite as much if Branthwaite can continue to put in decent performances like that. Very, very solid at the back. Andre Gomez as well. I need to give him a mention because it was one of his best performances, certainly since his injury, of course, but I think probably one of his best performances of the whole season. It was fantastic from Gomez today. He looked very much back to his Moroban best from last season, and it was great to see. When he plays well, Andre Gomez, he's an absolute pleasure to watch, and it was great to see him strutting his stuff again. Gylfi Sigurdsson as well, I was very surprised to see Gylfi Sigurdsson play and be captain. I was absolutely fuming when I saw that, but he played very well as well. And you know, it's not often that we can give the majority of the team 6 and over 6 out of 10 in this post-lockdown period, and for once we can. It's really pleasing. I forgot what it was like to enjoy watching games of football, and yeah, long may that continue. You know, we might revert to type next week against Bournemouth, or we might go back to 4-4-2, stick with the 4-2-3-1, but at least it keeps the opponents guessing now. And you know, opponents aren't going to know what they're coming up against until, and maybe Ancelotti can be flexible and like switch it in game as well, which is it's a really good tactic to have, and it can, you know, keep opposition players second guessing, because sometimes I think we've been far too predictable. But yeah, it's very, very good to see. For once, from celebrating an Everton win, I didn't think we'd have another one of those, to be honest, after the Leicester game. I thought we were done for picking up 3 points this season, and thankfully it's not the ignominy of another terrible end to the season like that 0-3-0-4 one, which traumatised me as a kid. So yeah, it's great to finally get a win after 4 games without one, and finally witness a really good Everton performance on the road. It's probably our best since that West Ham game last season. That I haven't seen us play that well in a half of football on the road for a long time. So long may that continue into next season, hopefully, and you know, hopefully the next time we see Everton play an away game, we see a much improved squad as well. So we'll see what Carlo Ancelotti's got up his sleeve, and Marcel Brands, of course, for next season. But one more home game to go at Goodison against Bournemouth on Sunday, and then it's a pretty, let's say, depressing season, done and dusted. But for once, it's a small oasis in a desert of depression. So today we've got a 1-0 win on the road at a Sheffield United side who really, we should be embarrassed that they finished above us. But it was a decent performance today, and hopefully that's something to build on for next week, and also for next season, of course, which is the big aim. Now we've got to have a good season next year, and you know, after that one there's a lot more optimism maybe, because let's be honest, we needed it after the last couple of weeks. But there you have it, guys. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. Fantastic news. Let us know how you're feeling. If you're feeling half as good as me, I'd be thrilled to hear it. Drop us a comment, give this video a like as well, and subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel for some rare optimism. It's great to see, isn't it? Yeah, give us a subscribe as well, and until next time, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.